Hello boys and girls, this is Miss B here. Today we are going to be drawing a flower. We're going to use a Sharpie or a thin marker to create a little bit of shadow and texture, which is a little more difficult and nuanced than just using a pencil. Before we get started, like always, I'm going to do a Bob Ross quote. This one says, "Every painting is going to be different, and that's what makes it great." Always count on Bob Ross for a good quote. All right, everyone go ahead and get a sheet of paper. And you might want to use a pencil first if you're not sure if you can do all this in one go. The only problem with doing Sharpies or markers is that you can't erase, which is a big pain. For this flower picture, we're going to have our paper going up and down. And towards the top but the middle, I'm going to go ahead and draw a C with an extra little curl on the end. Alright, once you got that, you're going to do another little curve right in here. And we're going to draw the middle. It's just a very thin curve going up and back down. See, I'm already liking using my pencil. In case I mess up, I can trace it again, fix it up however I'd like. Alright, from here I'm going to curve in. So this is a full loop right here. And across the top right here, I'm going to do a curve up, gentle wobble, wobble. Oh, whoa, that was a little aggressive wobble. And then I'm going to curl back down. From here, I'm going to take this line and I'm going to curve it around to meet that point, okay? So I'm going to go up, bend over, right here. And I'm going to do a tiny point right here. So this just kind of shows that that part of the flower is curled over. Again, every flower is going to be a little bit different and every drawing is going to be a little bit different, just like what Mr. Bob Ross has said. Alright, underneath here, I'm going to draw the petals that have not yet unfolded. So it's going to be very gentle diagonals going down and in, and then curve around like that. Okay? The stem, which is a pretty easy part, I'm going to do two gentle lines going in and down, and then some verticals. Now, every leaf is different, but every flower does have a leaf, as far as I know. I'm not a botanist. I'm going to curve up and over, point, up and over. I will say that, like all plants, the further away from the middle it gets, the thinner it gets. So when we're doing leaves like this, just make them curving, but make sure they're slowly but surely getting wider as they come back in to the middle. And I'm just going to end it like a point right here. This isn't exactly how flowers end, as I'm sure you know, but there's nothing wrong with using your imagination and finishing it out how you'd like. Alright, now that we got the basic outline done, I'm going to go ahead and retrace with my Sharpie, making sure I'm not rubbing my arm or hand on top. That would smudge what you've done. Now, if you want to take it to the next level, you can go ahead and erase out your pencil marks, especially if you have a lot or you messed up a few times. I'm trying to go rather quickly because it's easier to upload small, short videos, but if at any time you want to pause so you can catch up, or you just want to start doing your own thing, that's totally fine too. Alright, now I got the basics done. I'm going to start shading. The first way we're going to shade is called hatching. Everyone say hatching. Hatching is just a bunch of little parallel lines that are all going the same direction. That's basically what parallel means. Oh, and here's the example in case you're wanting to switch it out. I'm going to go ahead and do a little curve here. That shows that part of the petal that's turned. And if you want it darker, you're just doing your lines closer together. If you want it lighter, you're going to spread those lines out. So you can determine how dark or light you want your shadows to be. Most of the things that are going to be darker are going to be towards the edge of our stem here. So the outside of our stem, we're going to have a little bit extra lines, and leaving that middle a little lighter. It's going to be very light right here, so I'm going to leave that white. But I am going to add in some hatch marks or parallel lines right in between the middle, right around the middle, to show that there's some depth there. This is kind of like a cup. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple of lines here. It's right where that petal curls. There would be some shadow. This isn't totally realistic, but this is back in the day before they had pencils to use for a lot of their illustrations. Artists would use pen and ink to be mass produced, and this is how they would shade. You can add a couple little shadows in the leaves. I know I didn't do that for the other example, but I'm just getting into this hatching. It's kind of fun. Alright, the other kind of shading is stippling. Stippling is something that is really, really fun to do, but it gets tedious very quickly. Stippling is just tapping very lightly, especially if you're using a marker. You don't want to squish the marker. You're just tapping over and over again to make teeny tiny little dots. Now with this works as perfect texture for the middle of the flower, but also for shading. So I'm going to go ahead and concentrate my dots around the outside edge of the middle here. Do a couple in the middle of the whole thing just to make sure it looks like it actually has texture. But it looks a little bit more rounded if I add a lot more to the outside part, because that's the part that would have a bit of a shadow. And go ahead and stop and look, see if you like what you got. If you don't, keep on working on it. It's totally up to you. But that is it for our step-by-step flower today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to change, modify, or go outside and make your own flower drawings. Whatever you'd like to do, go ahead and go forth and be creative. Alright, my artist friends, this is gonna be it. Don't forget to be awesome, and goodbye.